We're back from GAMA Expo 2026 to share with you all of the most amazing games we saw coming out the rest of this year. Gentlemen, let's get after it, boys.
All that I got will never stop, I give it all. Straight to the top, will never front, I give it all. All that I have, I let it be, cause nobody's better than me. What do you see? Give it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Good gaming champions, and welcome to a very special episode of GAMA Expo 2026. We here, the boys, Dillon, Deon, and I'm the only M left. It's just the two D and M, but DMD. Yeah, okay. I know we're gonna work on that. But the three boys, we're here to share with you all the amazing things that we saw at the GAMA Expo 2026, all the exciting things that are going to be coming out later this year, and some of the hidden gems of smaller publishers that are trying to get their games out there into the hands of all of you, the consumers. Gentlemen, it was fun hanging out with the two of you. Three of you? Whoa.
Two of you?
Split personality.
There was double U.
It was some
I can tell you this, it was like Gamma's never as a retailer. Gamma.
Yeah, you're struggling too.
Do I have I have the sickness. Gamma is never like fun for the first 4 or 5 days, and then when I leave, I go, "Oh man, I had so much fun." But because it's all work, you're all trying to look at the different titles that you can bring in that they're coming out with throughout the year, trying to get the next look of the next big thing that you think would work in your store. And then also you're trying to get demos to bring back, to share with your community. So it's always work for me. I'm always doing the same pitch over and over and over, explaining how my store is different than 80% of the stores out there. It becomes, and they give you like educational courses in the beginning, and you're just running from room to room to room to room. It is very tiring. I tell you one, I was wore out in that event. But it was like the largest I've ever seen it in 3 years that I've been doing this, or going to GAMA anyway. It's the largest I've ever seen it. I mean, they had, 2 full halls? It was crazy. It took, was it 2.5 days?
Yeah. Dillon, how was the experience for you as a developer?
It was also my first GAMA. So it was very surreal and just very cool to see the industry operating within inside of its own space. Like going to Origins and the Dice Tower events and Gen Con and PAX Unplugged, this was very much, hey, as an industry, what's out there? How can we connect? How can we make these relationships, these partnerships, learning about the kind of ecosystem of the retailers with the publishers and the distributors, and then everything in between was just a really fascinating learning experience for one, and two, just like great to connect with people, learn, and obviously, play some games and see what's coming out. Also, like just learn about games that have been out for a while, but now I'm bought on the spot and I'm very excited to play once I get home. So yeah, it was an excellent experience. And I mean, exceptionally ran by GAMA too. So they did a good job.
And for those of you who may not know, as a predominant consumer slash board game YouTuber, this is not a retail event. So if you have never heard of GAMA before, there's a reason. This is an industry event. So it's really targeted at developers and publishers communicating, connecting, networking with friendly local game stores like Deon, which is kind of where you got me into it in the first place. Where we've kind of accelerated our experience with GAMA has also been for the channel, because it's also where we had a chance to film our Golden Meeple Award recipients. So we've got some awesome stuff coming up for the Golden Meeples very soon.
Yep.
Which is a big driver of why it was worth it for us to go to Louisville as a channel. But as a consumer, it's something you'll never go to because you're not going to leave with product unless you're Dillon, who buys 6 products on Amazon while he's at the booth.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, "Can I buy a couple copies of these games?" And they're like, "No." And then I go to the next booth, "Can you buy?" No. So I'm having to buy all this. To be fair, it actually helped a lot because then they just ship to my house versus me walking out with I'm like getting to the airport, I'm just carrying all of my clothes because my backpack is full of games. And so, yeah, it was a different experience from that standpoint. But yeah, just it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know for media, there's a lot of media events there. So, I mean, you got the chance to see some of the stuff that I wasn't able to, certain rooms and areas that I, as a retailer, wasn't able to check out as well. But
This is
also,
where I would escape from Deon.
well, I was so busy. I mean, I was so slammed. If it wasn't for Dillon, I highly doubt we would have gotten everything recorded that we needed to get, or you would have been it'd have been really difficult for you to have to set everything up and do everything. Cause this was probably one of the busiest, cause I actually had money this year to spend. Usually when I go, I don't have any money. So I'm like, I don't care if it's cool or not. I can't bring it into my store because I'm broke. But this year we're actually, profitable. We're doing well. And I'm like, hey, I get to go shopping a little bit. So I wanted to make sure I'm picking the right stuff. And they have T-shirts and everything you see in a retail store when you walk in. There's a lot of media guys that got to go, and I'm seeing a lot of it on my TikTok right now of, to check out, this is what I seen at GAMA and everything. And I even get questions like, what is GAMA? GAMA's a game manufacturing conference, right? So with each of us, there's the 3 different pillars of what we do. Speaking of media, and then Dillon with, creator, publisher, and then retailer. I think it was a great conference for all 3, but it was slammed. It was busy in there, like beyond.
The most highly attended one ever, which just shows the continued growth of the industry too.
I think there was like 500 and some odd retailers, like something like that. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It felt like it on my feet.
And you got to keep in mind that only a small percentage of retailers go to that. So how many, I mean, I don't know, Google it. Tell me how many put it in the comments underneath. How many retailers, board game / hobby stores are there in the United States? And around the world, there are people there I was bumping into from the UK that I was like, oh, where's your store? And they're like, UK. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of designers and developers from different areas was nice to meet as well. But yeah, great show. Had a blast. Let's talk about the games.
Yeah. And that was one of the things I love about GAMA, is because it's not consumer based. As media, it gives you a real chance to be able to stand and talk with all of these developers and publishers and actually learn more about what's coming out for the companies. You have time to actually sit and play test some of the stuff that they have coming out. So it really gave us a unique chance to get our hands on some games that maybe you haven't heard of before, or maybe you have, and this is kind of a chance to share some hands-on experience that we had with those games. So we're going to kind of run through first and give some honorable mentions, just kind of share some of the neat things that maybe didn't reach the tippy top of our list, but were definitely games we don't recognize as stuff. Hey, we saw this and we're really excited about for the rest of this year.
So before we get started, big shout out to Louisville. I love going there.
Louisville.
Louisville. I don't love going there. It was a great.
How does the guy from New Zealand say it?
Yeah.
Well, I that sign that they had where they had Louisville like in 6 different pronunciations. I found myself standing there and just staring at it, saying all of them in my head. And if anybody outside looking in is just like, what's wrong with that guy?
So some of the things I enjoyed at the show, and I know that we had kind of a thing I want to talk before we get into our 3, is I really got to take a chance and look at the great library from Lacerda that I'm really excited about.
Yeah,
Comes out at the end of the year.
That was on your most anticipated for the year list.
It is.
Every Lacerda that ever comes out.
Well, every year they can just keep printing it. Literally, he could crap in a box, put our, tool art on it, and you got here's my money. But at least it's not else.
At least the crap is not AI art, right?
Tool does amazing with his iconography, and that means a lot. So anyway, love the great guy. Got a chance to touch it, look at it, Google over it for a minute. So that honorable mention, it was something that I enjoyed, but I knew it was going to be shown there, so I wasn't like super hyped walking away from the table. I still have the same hype level that I did going in. It did make me more or less hyped about it. I think once you get to play it and see it go around. There was one that stuck out, and I even think each of us had fun with it in different areas, was the La Corsa. This game, I had to walk away with a demo, Grand Prix game. It's a silly card game with this cool board that you put out, and you're just trying to valley for position and challenge in this kind of like war style, but you're not randomly flipping over cards. You're intelligently picking out cards. I didn't think I would enjoy it. I was like, that's dumb. But I'll check it out. And I really enjoyed. We went back to later that evening and played it at the bar. One of the highlights of the GAMA for me. So definitely on my honorable mentions.
Well, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because it may come
up into the thing. Also, Rowdy Partners. I got to sit down with Dillon and finally play Capstone Games Rowdy Partners. It's been out for a while. It came out, I think, a couple months ago. But from Capstone Games Rowdy Partners, I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I'm a big wrestling fan. But You played it, right, with me? I mean, you enjoyed it with us.
Really unexpected, just great time. Like, we sat down, I didn't really know what to expect. Game started getting explained. I was like, okay, kind of following along. And by the end, Deon and I are yelling at each other. I'm yelling at the capstone team. I mean, we were just having a blast. Like, for me, it's like that experience. Like, they nailed that experience. And so that's for me an honorable mention for sure. I'm getting that game.
Yeah, I got a copy coming on its way to demo because I think it's one of those. If you look at the box, you're like, yeah, trick taking. I've been there, done that, right? Like I'm just kind of done with trick taking to a point.
Well, there's been a lot of taking the last.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, this game does it better, so I'll play this game type of thing. But I mean, I'm a old wrestling fan, so it was fun, like with the different abilities that each wrestler had, and you're trick taking, and you're trying to hit each other for some hits. So that was on my honorable mention. And last, and then I'll let somebody else talk, is the it's kind of an overall. I wasn't really excited about a ton of stuff that I went through this mess. I busted to get through that in 2.5 days because I was meeting everybody and had to talk with everybody. So it wasn't like a quick, like, yep, that's cool. Keep moving. Yep. Okay, whatever. I'm talking about what deals they have at GAMA, what I can bring into my store. And so I struggled to get through it, all of it. And I did. But the games coming up, like if you walk into the creators hall or just the people that were creating stuff around that area, that don't have a publisher yet and might be self-published. Games like Druid, Elementary, those were two that stuck out really big for me that I was like, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. And when this gets ironed out and this gets hammered out, this is going to be a blast. And I'm looking forward, I think, till next year's GAMA, because hopefully we'll see some of those on the booth table at people. Hopefully the smart people picked them up, like a Pegasus Spiel or a Capstone Games, or those guys picked these companies up because there was a lot of like people pitching there. And as a retailer, I was like, oh, that's going to be good. Like that's going to do well.
Well, we had a chance to go because somebody else left early and didn't partake in this, not naming anybody. But a couple games that I saw in that hall that we played a game called
PSI, I think it was what it was.
PSI. Yeah,
The PSI party at the end of the day was really good. And we met a lot of good creators there that's coming through.
and that was the couple I was going to kind of highlight here was like Whisker Wars by Glass House Games.
Oh, yeah.
A couple young guys big Magic guys who decided to make something that was just a little bit different than Magic. It's basically you're gonna flip. You have a center card, a center draw pile that everybody pulls from, and all the cards have speed. They're all like creatures and force creatures and stuff. And effectively, they all have different abilities. And you're gonna put 3 cards down, and then you're gonna kind of flip, and whoever has the highest number, I think they go first, onto the lowest number, which are the more powerful cards. And it's kind of like Commander in that you're kind of able to attack everybody around you.
It's like a commander pod, yeah.
And so you each have 20 health and stuff. And we really had a good time with those guys just in general. Really nice guys, kind of the people that you want to see succeed. But I thoroughly really enjoyed that game. I'm looking forward to it coming out because it was something I felt like I could play with my son.
Yeah.
It was easy to pick up, easy to learn, pretty simple mechanics. But again, it's just like more of a commander type of game, but it was really inspired heavily from Magic. But that's definitely one.
I get a lot of customers that come in and want to teach their kids Magic, but it's a lot. It's a lot to teach them. So that would be a great game to be able to be like, hey, let's play this, and it has some of the elements of Magic in it. So that was fun.
And another one that I thought was like super interesting, I forgot to write his name down, but it comes to us from The Littlest Lantern. And this game is called Seabees. And we met the guy who made it. And what's amazing, I forget, Deon, how many games he said he's already sold. It's all marketing. He hasn't even, I think, printed the game yet. But if you go look online, they're just doing a lot of marketing. I want to say he sold like 50,000 copies or something stupid like this on this game.
And I said, I've never seen an ad of yours. And then he yelled into my phone, CB 4 or 5 times. And I was like, ha, 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 whatever. I'll have to write it down when I get back to the hotel. And your phone actually picked it up and started giving you ads of it.
I've been getting beefed every day since we've gotten back from GAMA. So it works, if you want to screw somebody over, just scream something that they don't want in their phone. But we'll blame people like Dillon, the software developer over there, for that crap. But
Well, this
but
is a
C
good marketing tactic. I'm just gonna walk around with a speaker just saying huddle everywhere.
but Sea Beast looks like a really interesting game for somebody like me because it is a single player. It can be co-op, but it seems like it's hard to describe. It seems like a lot going on, almost like a dungeon crawler because you're on a Viking boat and you're fighting these huge beasts. So it kind of seems like it's kind of like a Monster Hunter type, primal type of game. So I think it's going to be one of these where you have a boat and you're going against these massive sea beasts. But he's going to get us a copy so we can play it and enjoy it. Like I said,
Hopefully bring it to the channel.
yeah, for me, it's something I'm really looking forward to because now that I've seen all the ads, excited.
Now that you're marketed to.
So those were a couple from that booth. Dylan, what were a couple honorable mentions you had?
I mean, Rally Partners was right up there. I mean, that teeters into the top list. I just had such a great time playing that. Riftbound, like that was my first kind of proper exposure to a TCG game that you like, Don, you
Oh,
gotta go
sure.
check this out. And I did. I walked away and I was like, this is awesome. And Matt's like, well, I hope your wallet is ready. I had no idea about the economics of these games. And I'm just blown away. But it was like just really fun. Um yeah, and then I think Ollie Bisley, like that was the other one I just had like Deon, you just took me right over there. We played that. I was like, how have I never heard about this? Like, this is right up my alley. A really nice, lightweight game that's thematically in my realm. Big fans of both of those two individuals. And just kind of this fun attacking defensive game. So you've always got a winner. I couldn't, co-op games, which is kind of interesting because maybe a game that I really am excited about is a co-op game. But yeah, those are some of the games I was just like really, really surprised at how much I enjoyed them. And I'm just excited to play them again.
A couple of the games that I saw that I really enjoyed. I have to say, Smirk and Dagger was nominated for Best Publisher of the Year for the Golden Meeple Awards, which will be coming out soon. And I was really impressed with some of the new stuff coming out from them. And they have one called Devious, which is a real simple card.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I really enjoyed playing Devious. Basically, you are trying to collect 6 fairy cards. It's a little bit of like you draw cards, you kind of put them in an order, and then you give them to the people you're playing against. And then they flip a card and they decide if they want to keep it or not. And what you're trying to do is get one of each fairy of the 6 different types. There's 13 different types that come in a box. Each fairy does something different when you play the card. So it may be like, when you play this red fairy, you get to eliminate a fairy from somebody else's hand or something to that effect. But you look at it and then you decide, do I want to keep it or not? If you don't, you discard it and then you don't know what's coming left. And then by the third card, you have to play the third card if you get to it. So you can kind of screw yourself over. So it's a little bit of manipulation. It's a little bit of mind games, but it's very simple. And I had a lot of fun playing that one with Kurt. So I think that's coming out in April. So I'm really excited to get my hands. He's supposed to get us a copy of that one for the channel. Malediction, which is not a new game per se, but Malediction is coming from Loot Studios. Malediction is one that we've talked about that we really want to get our hands on.
That's that like a war game style or whatever, right?
So it's almost like a tabletop miniature game.
It is,
with
yeah.
cards.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So it's a heavy card play. The miniatures look amazing. So I'm trying to find somebody who will. I don't have my STL, the resin 3D printer working, so I got to find somebody who can print it because it comes with standees, but the miniatures need to be printed.
Yeah.
It looks amazing on the board. But again, it's a card battler with tabletop miniature feel to it. So you've got movement dictated with measurement tools. You're playing cards to execute abilities. So that game's been out for a couple years now, but one I can't wait to get my hands on. Spirit Fire, I'll just rattle off real quick with Orange Nebula. Really excited. Was my most anticipated last year.
Well, it must be nice to be media to get to go look at all of these.
Oh yeah.
I must have missed it, a lot of these because
Well, Spirit Fire is one I was kind of telling Dylan about, like, just doesn't exist. There's not a lot of information out there. There's not a lot of data on what it's going to be because they're trying to keep it relatively hidden. It's a story adventure. It's a card deck builder. Really looking forward to that. Can I say one of the other games that I really saw, and this one's been getting a little bit of heat lately on BGG, but it's one that it was on your most anticipated list, which is Blood Rage Valhalla.
Hmm.
I had a chance to finally see it in live copy, and people have to remember that as Tycoon Games took this over. When you take an IP over, sometimes you have to kind of almost reclaim the ownership of it. And so I think that there is, in truth, an element that they have to get a new version of Blood Rage out to kind of recapture the IP copyright time frame with it. So a lot of people have been a little upset of like, well, there's not enough new stuff with this game, and you're just trying to do a cash grab. And I don't think that's the case. They're actually making this game so it can pair with Blood Rage, because Valhalla is taking place after Ragnarok. So as you know, as a Viking, you die in battle, you go to Valhalla. There's actually a rainbow bridge that leads into this world on the map. So to me, I think they are really trying to do some things to differentiate it, but they're also doing it in a way where it will blend with the original Blood Rage. So I think people like you, when they get their hands on it, are gonna be excited.
Well, and Tycoon Games said that they're looking for more and more moving forward. They just have to get the game back out, get it into people's hands, and then they're looking to pick up where Blood Rage left off. Because as a Blood Rage fan, when they released it, I was like, this is awesome. And then they were like, oh, here's some extra cards. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, here's a 5th player expansion. And I'm like, good. And then it died. Like nothing else came out for a very, very long time until this now. So I'm as a Blood Rage huge fan, top 5 of all time games for me. I'm very excited to see Tabletop Tycoon go, hey, we're gonna push something out. It's not gonna be our best work, but it's gonna be something, and then revitalize this by continuing forward. And what we have planned in the future, I'm really excited about. But that's why Gamma 2027. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next from them. Hype is still there for the game. It's just not on my top 3 because of that.
Yeah, and before we go on to the top 3, Matt, you and I had such a great experience over at the op with, I believe it was Kyle.
Mhm.
So if he sees this, I mean, he was just like such a legend in his own right. He spent a bunch of time with us talking about some of their games, walked us through Flip 7 with a Vengeance, which really was, I love a good attacking mechanism in a game. So that was a blast. Yeah, so shout out to those guys. Not really an honorable mention, but yeah, it was just a great kind of highlight for me over the course of the few days I was there.
Yeah, and he was awesome because Dillon and I, we had a chance to play that Flip 7 Vengeance, which I'm sure everybody out there knows is really hard to find right now. We won't talk about how you get it at this point for Deon's sake. But well, to his credit, my son absolutely loves Flip 7 to the nth degree. And, Dillon and I were hanging out with him, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to shoot my shot to see if I can be a hero and come home with Flip 7 Vengeance. And he's like, all right, man, I'll save the demo copy for you. And if you come back out into the thing on Thursday, you'll get it. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're my hero. Like, you're gonna make me the coolest dad ever. And Dylan and I were hanging out in the lobby, and the op had a little party thing that we weren't invited to. I'll leave it at that. I don't know why we weren't, but we weren't. And he walks up, he's like, oh guys, yeah. He said hi to us. He leaves, he comes back like 2 minutes later, hands me the box. He's like, dude, I got you. I got you taken care of. And I was like, dude, like, it made my son's day. So I can't say enough about that kind of customer service. And I'm sorry I lost you a sale, but it was an awesome experience to be able to give that to my son.
And who is this?
Kyle,
Kyle.
he's the one who accepted the Flip 7 Golden Meeple Award last year, if you watched the 2025.
Yeah, I like Kyle's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, like
Great dude.
Yeah, great.
So those are our honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Everybody's done with honorable mentions.
No. We got 2 I want to share that are non-board game mentions.
Go ahead.
Because these are kind of unique. So I always love when we go to these conventions, you do get a chance to see some things that are non-board game but board game adjacent.
Yeah.
I think deserve a lot of love and respect. And I know, Deon, you and I, sorry, I don't mean to touch you there.
I didn't want an unwanted touching.
Yeah, after the last video. So this was a chance to kind of share some of the cool, we got 2. One of them was a company called Modern Meeples.
Oh, I liked him.
And Modern Meeples, and I'll put some video up, they had these beautiful wooden trays. And wooden trays are kind of everywhere, but it's almost like a composite.
It was I couldn't tell it was wooden until he told me it was wooden.
Yeah. And they're making these absolutely stunning dice trays, and they're specializing for some games. So if you are a fan of Dice Throne, go to Modern Meeple immediately, because they've made a special tray just for Dice Throne. and Quacks, if you like Quacks of Quinnborough, go to their website, like, after the video, of course, after you like and subscribe as well.
Don't go yet. Wait, and then if you leave, you have to like, subscribe, then leave, then come back.
But go to their website and check this stuff out because they make some specialized products for those games that, like if I was bigger into them, I would absolutely have to own them because they were unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Yeah, they're really good. And for retail stores, if you're watching, they have like this really cool, we will put one in your retail demo table if you have a demo table, and they'll work with you directly. So it's really nice. Great company. You should definitely reach out to them.
Yeah, these TCG bags.
Yeah, these new bags coming out that it's like you throw over your shoulder. You can like wear it like an old fanny pack type of thing. You can also toss it over like and it's everything you need. You could fit everything you need for like your Riftbound night, Dylan. Everything you need for your Riftbound night.
Perfect. I'm actually just going to leave and go right now.
Stateless. So you won't have a soul because you signed it to Riftbound. But other than that, everything else you need.
The other one that I want to list before we get to our top 3 here is a company. They're called Smelly Bones Dice.
I liked those guys too.
If you get a chance, if you're ever in a place that has, because honestly, I don't know how you sell this without doing it in person. What they are is they are dice. You've seen a billion dice. But these dice have a smell to them. And they have like 15, 20 different flavors of dice. And you're kind of like, okay, yeah, sure, buddy. Like, smells like the lawn.
Yeah,
Or-
fresh cut glass. Yeah, fresh cut grass.
Or blood.
Blood was one too. Yeah, blood was
And they smelled really accurate.
pretty accurate. It was
I really smell blood a lot, but it's like,
no, it definitely was pretty neat. And they come with these tins that actually have like the scent underneath them, so it kind of revitalizes the dice when you put them back in the tin.
yeah.
So they're constantly, when you open them at the table, you're gonna push this smell everywhere. Which, I mean, I own a game store. There's worse smells that can be pushed everywhere in a game store. So definitely
Also on those Riftbound.
also on the Riftbound night. No. So definitely check those out. Those guys were cool.
Yeah. So that's our honorable mention. So, gentlemen, let's talk about the best of the best that we saw at GAMA here. So we're going to go through a top 3 list here, boys. Dylan, why don't you kick us off with number 3?
Number 3 was a nice, simple game, which I love. And man, I could have sat there with you, Matt, and played that game for hours. And this game is Tumbling Dice by Eagle Griffin.
That's been out a long time.
I know, but I've never heard about it. I've never seen it. And I was just giddy, absolutely giddy. I bought it and I'm going to just have it set up in my house. And when I walk between my office and my kitchen, I'm just going to just throw a couple dice. And every time I'm just going to smile. It was simple. It was, it was simple. I could see that you playing that with 6 friends. 4, 3. I mean, you could play with 2, play by yourself. You're still gonna have a good time. But I think, it's just there's no strategy to this. There's no complexity. You just bouncing dice down platforms, and I was just so happy playing. We were telling Deon, and I was like, tumbling dice. He's like, no, I'm playing that game.
I think I have a copy on my shelf still in the other room of Tumbling Dice. I bought it a year or 2 ago, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years maybe ago. And it's been just sitting there collecting dust. It's one you got to pull out at the table and then let people play with, because then it's like, oh, this is a lot of fun. But Eagle Griffin, love those guys. They have a special place in my heart. So they do this great thing where they overproduce games, which I love overproduction. And that's one that's like, this is dumb Tumbling Dice. But as you play it, it becomes like one of your dexterity games, like a dexterity, so it becomes more than what it is as just a regular board game. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think it's hilarious that you played it and enjoyed it and put it as your number 3, but hey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could have just stayed there. I mean, I went back twice and I just walked over. I just started throwing dice. I was like, Matt did have a really nice shot where he not only bounced it down, knocked off mine that was sitting on the ×3. His then knocked mine off, landed on the ×4, and it was a 6.
Yeah. It was perfection personified.
So check out Tumbling Dice from our friends at Eagle Griffin Games.
All right, Dylan. There's too many B's now. Deon.
The Way too many D's.
I figure out it's MD squared.
D squared. I like it.
MD squared.
MD squared. All right. Deon, what is your number 3?
So there was a game that my Facebook was shooting at me before I even went to GAMA, and it was called The Brave and the Bold. So my goal was to find what this was and check it out. The night I was walking through, I haven't got to them yet because they were near the back of the hall. So the first night that the expedition was going on, or the conference was going on, I walked through the bar and they were playing it at the bar. And they pulled open the box, and it has all of the DC characters, right? Superman, Wonder Woman, and I think it's like 8 villains and 8 superheroes. Maybe it's 6 and 6. I can't remember. But anyway, you pull out the box, and you actually use the box as your board. It felt, just by looking at it that night, it felt very much like a dice throne, right? Very dice throne-y, where you're playing cards against each other, but you're also rolling dice and stuff. But this isn't dice. This was bag building, which I hate dice rolling. I kind of like bag building. So I was like, I think that might be my thing. And I'm a huge DC fan. So that climbed the list pretty fast. In fact, till that time, that was probably my most favorite thing I seen. As the show went on, I got to actually sit down and watch a playthrough, and it moved down a little bit, but I'm still extremely excited about what possibility could happen for like organized play, the ability to build, and you're pushing your luck, you're digging in the bag and you're pushing your luck, and once you get 3 busts, you don't get to do whatever.
Quacks of Goodwill.
It felt a little more quacksies than I wanted it to feel, but I still liked it. So it still stayed in my top 3, but there was some things as my kind of game, I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. It was to entry level for a lot of retails was a little pricey because it came with this massive box, and I had all these, because I gotta have everything. I can't just be like, oh, give me a couple and we'll check it out. I had to have everything. So that's why I would say it's number 3 for me. Is I'm excited. I think they're gonna really hit heavy at GAMA. They're gonna go, or not GAMA, Gen Con. They're gonna hit heavy at Gen Con, and they're gonna release shortly after Gen Con or during Gen Con, and it's gonna be a huge release. And quote me now, it's what, March? By Gen Con in August, everybody's going to be talking about this game, The Brave and the Bold. And, oh, it's so cool. And you build it out, and you got to pull these in. You're fighting heroes and villains and kicking people's butt at the table. And I tell you, it's going to be the way, the design of the pieces, the design of the board, the DC license that they've taken very good care of. And I think it was Resurrection Games, not Restoration, Resurrection Games. Check them out. They're amazing. That's my number 3.
Well, we're excited because they had mentioned that they may actually come to your shop.
I hope.
Demo it. And they also said that they're going to try to get us a demo copy so that way we can highlight it on the channel. So we're going to hold them accountable to make sure that we get that stuff here on the channel so we can show that off to you guys as well.
Worst case is we'll get some video and footage of people playing it. So, and they'll come to my shop if they do, and we'll try to get that done at that time. But
that's the part that bugs Dillon the most is like when we get all these awesome games sent to us, and he's going to
a frequent flyer mileage back and forth is what we'll have to do.
And I don't know if we'll have the corporate card for that one yet.
Yeah, right. We need more subscribers. Hey, subscribe. Get Dillon here to play some games with us. Anyway, your number 3.
Yeah, so my number 3 is one that if you play tabletop miniature games, you have absolutely heard this. If you're a PC gamer at all, you have absolutely played this game. And it comes to us from Archon Studios, and it is a StarCraft miniature games. StarCraft is something that I grew up playing as a kid. I stopped playing when I got older because I wasn't twitchy enough. And, it's something that, when Warhammer was originally started, they had, from the lore that I've always heard, they kind of actually wanted to use the StarCraft IP. They wanted to create a game kind of around the idea of it with the tabletop miniature game. So whether that's real or not, the Warhammer nerds told me that story. So from that perspective, that finally happened. It's finally coming out. And I turned a corner at GAMA. The first day of media day, I got in early, so it was very dead in there. And I was going actually to a specific booth. And then all of a sudden it just caught my eye and I saw it. And I was just like, oh my God. So I V-lined over there, met the guys over there. We got some video. And I have to tell you, if you like tabletop miniature games, I think you're really, really going to be happy with the game. It plays very smooth. It's crisp. It's not overly complex. There is the dice chucking, common of any miniature game. But I'll tell you what, the protons, specifically that specific race in the game, those miniatures looked absolutely freaking stunning. I don't play them in the game, but I will maybe play them in this game because they look beautiful. So it was an easy one for me to put on the list.
That's good. I'm glad you enjoyed StarCraft. What was your number 2 then?
Let's go to Dillon.
Well, Deon touched on them during his honorable mentions, but my number 2 was La Corsa. One, the team there, Mark was one of the creators. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I just think when you talk about thematic games and like creating an experience that's just very much puts you in that mode, they really nailed it. And they did it in a very like elegant, simple way. And you're racing as you guys played as well. You're just racing along this very kind of beautiful wood track. You've got your cars, or you can play 2 cars if you're playing with a less players, and you're basically just trying to overtake. And at the end of the game, it's not like there's a finish line. Whoever's in the lead wins. But the cards, the design of the game, the cards, the narratives on them, it just really kind of put you in that experience. I was like, I'm racing this car. So really excited. You can't buy them right now, so I'm kind of SOL, and you two just put this up and just to tell me. But yeah, this is my number 2. Just the beauty of it, the team over there, and just the thematic and how just fun it was to play with them. So yeah.
Well, and I'll go next because La Corsa is also my number 2
Oh, wow.
as well. Yep, exactly. I Yeah, we had a chance to play this after Dylan left. We waited till he was gone when we got our copies. 'Cause I also got a copy, thanks to Mark at the company.
Mark was amazing.
Yeah, such a good guy. Yeah, you're the one who did. But yeah, Leonardo Rosso Games, Mark, the head over there. Dylan, you hit on something that when we played it at night, I kept, as a big F1 fan, I kept trying to convey to Deon here was for F1 specifically, it's all about track management, more than almost anything, especially if you get caught in the midfield. And I think that this game does that experience so much better than any of the other games, including things like Heat. Heat's fun. I love Heat. But I think that from a thematic feel of what an actual automotive race looks like and feels like, I think they hit the nail on the head with what this experience is, because you're trying to battle the car in front of you. You're trying to get track position. That's the whole purpose of the game with the war mechanic that we had already talked about earlier in the video. But I think what they did specifically with some of the expansions that actually bring real world tracks like Monte Carlo, for example. Well, everybody who watches F1 knows in Monte Carlo, you may get one pass the entire race of every car on the track. It is not a track that's easy to move in. So they have cards that kind of tie to the Monte Carlo track. So when that card is played for that race, you can only move one position up each turn. So it really minimizes how much movement happens, just like the real track does. So the game is played out over a series of 7 races. So that way, even if you have a bad race, just like in the real F1, sometimes that's going to happen. Max Verstappen doesn't always win. Sometimes he gets 6th or 10th. Doesn't mean you can't win the championship. And La Corsa really hit a home run with that. Easy number 2. Good pick, Dylan.
Yeah, good pick. I actually enjoyed it as well. So, and I don't usually enjoy those types of games.
So what was your number 2?
My number 2 is going to be a huge surprise. It's not a Lacerda. It's not a whatever. It's not a heavy game. In fact, it's something I despise with every part of my body. It's a TCG.
You're growing, baby bird.
Star Wars Unlimited. I really enjoyed that one. Playing this game, everybody that was playing against me was like, oh, there's too many fiddly bits. And I was like, I'm a board gamer. I like fiddly bits. I like to manage
games. You love fiddly bits.
I like to manage resources. I like to figure out what car, I like to think 3 turns ahead, what cards I'm going to put down in order to, I like that. And so it gave me that feeling of a board game because you get one action, the other person gets another action. The name of the title is called Hellbreak. It's from Spin Masters. and Ghost Galaxy's doing the organized play of it, which they're known for like Keyforge and a couple other things that they do a really good job with when it comes to organized play. But Spin Masters is the big guys behind it, and they do Universal Studios or Universal Monsters. So it's like Dracula and Jaws and probably like the creature from that. They haven't done all these yet, but I'm imagining that's all the stuff you will see. The Wolfman and, the Invisible Man. I imagine any Universal monster, the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein, all of those I think would be a lot of fun to play. But it's unique because it uses like Bandai's life system. So you put cards on the side and you use Bandai's life system. So when you get hit, you flip it up and go, oh, it's a jump scare, so I get to do X. Or you lose it. You flip it once and then flip
like
it
Pokemon too, for if you haven't played a Bandai game.
I mean, with the whole life system, that it has like a jump scare situation, which is kind of cool. There's 2 areas, so very Rift Bounty, where you have 2 lanes that you're attacking, and your creatures in each lane always.
And each lane has a perk.
And each lane has a perk as well that you either control or don't control. And by controlling and haunting those areas and controlling it, you get to then turn it and get those abilities quickly. So I loved that about it. I love that I could put creatures into each one. The resource is unique. I don't ever played anything like the resource management, which actually on the cards that you have and lined up, you gather those resources and then you spend the resources in order to play those cards. And it's a turn, a turn, a turn, a turn, a turn. You can do X amount of things on your turn. Anyway, Hellbreak's amazing. I think they will have huge success. They're not coming out until October. They're going to have their booth was probably the best.
Easily the best booth there.
Yeah.
They had a Gen Con quality booth at GAMA, so they went all in on this, and like everybody wanted in. It was a small area, blood on the walls.
Bloody shack. It felt like a bloody shack you were walking into, and it was like Halloweenish type of feel to it. It was very good. A big backlit sign with the Hellbreak kind of shaking out above. It was definitely a booth that stood out, and you were like, what's going on in that? And you just kind of went over. It was like, oh, this is kind of neat. And that's what happened. I walked by and I was like, a trading card game? Great. There was like 30 I counted. There was like 30 trading card games there.
Yeah.
And that didn't include stuff that's already released. This is like Cookie Run and
Pow World,
Ushi
TCG.
Pushi, Pow World.
Ushi Pushi.
Yeah, it was.
I actually
crazy.
saw Dillon loving Ushi Pushi.
Did he?
Yeah, he was loving it.
No, he would.
He has a little Hello Kitty backpack on.
Watching you 2 come out of that Hellbreak room, that booth area, you're like 2 kids in a candy store. Be like, so excited.
Right? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I made one of my helpers that was with me, an employer, might go back and get another copy of a retail play. And then I also got another copy later on in this thing. So I had like 3 copies of this game that I can then bring back to teach people here and run an event because I'm so excited about when it comes out. So
Do you know what that game needs? Because one of the decks in the demo, when they give you like a 2-player demo,
the demo deck isn't strong. I'll
No.
give you that. The
Well,
demo deck's-
no. What I was gonna say is one of the 2 demo decks is Dracula, and then the other one is Jaws.
Yeah.
You know what it would really benefit from?
What's that?
Some smelly bones, blood smelling dice.
Oh, yes. But it
For
feels,
theme.
if you play those 2, it does feel like Jaws is a little OP. So the more experienced players should play Dracula because they're gonna try to have to figure out how to climb that hill. But once you figure them out, so I liked it. I thought it was a good back and forth. But yeah, that Hellbreak was my number 2.
It was a really good game.
I liked it.
Dylan, did you play it at all? Or are you just too busy watching this?
No, I was just too busy watching you guys just have a good time. There wasn't enough good time to be had once you 2 were in that. You 2 a good time. Yeah, I you guys have your time. Yeah.
I'm a good time sucker, so I suck all the good time out of it. Wait. Hold on.
You know, Dylan, I'm actually shocked because we're going to get to our 1 here in a second, but I'm actually shocked that you did not put something on your list from Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Because I didn't play it, and I didn't really get to like learn all that much about it. Because it doesn't deserve to be on my list or my honorable mentions. That game, I cannot wait. And that's not my type of game. Usually, I did do kind of Warhammer back in the day, but since then, I really haven't done kind of the miniatures. But this is a game I'm a huge fan of the books. Oh yeah, they've got miniatures, and they have miniatures for each character on each level of the book.
But isn't it a role playing game they're doing?
Well, they're doing an Unstoppable, which is one of our Golden Meeple nominees for best solo game. They're doing Dungeon Crawler Carl Unstoppable.
Oh, wow.
There's layers to this. Yeah.
Well, they had miniatures for that one?
Yeah, they had miniatures because then they had Carl on level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm actually on book 6 for the second time. So I'm very excited. Book 8 is coming out soon. I walk around this corner and I was happy for 2 reasons. One, I found Dungeon Crawler Carl as a game. It's like, oh. And 2, I finally knew something at one of these conferences that the Nat did not tell. I was able to educate and school him on something, and that made me feel pretty dang good.
Well, dude, it was hilarious because the face that he made on us coming out of Hellbreaker, that was him. He's like, oh,
I was so excited.
he was like a freaking kid in the candy store when he saw the Dungeon Crawler Carl thing, and I'm like, I've never even heard of that. I'll have RPG. Well, he looks at it, he's just like, you don't know what that is? And I'm like, I have no clue. He's like, that's Princess Donut. Like, is that like some weird New Zealand thing? Like, is this like New Zealand English that I don't know? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm just buying that Kickstarter. I'm going to get one, and now I'm going to take my copy because they're having the author and the narrator. So the narrator's as famous as the author because the narration, like, this is one of those weird books where you should definitely listen to it. Apparently, Renegade, who's doing the game, they are going to be having Jeff and Matt, author and the narrator, at Gen Con signing copies.
Wow.
I am going to go get in one of those ridiculous lines, and I'm going to wait in that line to do that. And I'm going to go full fanboy. So, yeah, it doesn't even just, it's like this, it's like in the aura, like this cloud, like that's where that one was for me. So, yeah, I'm pumped.
I heard that they were doing an RPG. I'll have to get my dungeon master to read it and maybe run a quick session or something with us, and then we can even do it through this and have us play like through a quick session of where we build our character and get to go into this world that you're so in love with.
Oh, and one of a guy I've met through the cons, Johnny, he kind of met and connected over Huddle. Apparently, he is going to be, or he has done, I'm trying to see like through his Instagram world, he is going to cosplay as Carl. And he's an ex-NFL guy, old running back. So when I saw him and I saw this, I was like, yeah, you're gonna make a great call. Yeah, this is gonna be great.
Nice.
So if Johnny comes across this, I want to see some photos of him as Carl, which is gonna be an interesting because Carl's attire is interesting to say the least. So you guys just read the book, just listen to the books. Yeah, that's it.
I was going to be Donut. Do you have to dress up like Donut?
No.
You want to be a cat with sunglasses and a tiara that shoots
That's what he wants. He wants to know if it's available. Scott, what are you excited about? So, gentlemen, all right, we're down to number 1.
This is the best.
The best thing we've seen at GAMA.
All right, who wants to go first?
Well, it's all the same, right?
I think we all agree on this one, and we don't even have to really share it out. So I am a huge fan, have been for a very long time. In fact, the last night of the event, we sat.
Dillon was gone.
Yeah, Dillon was gone. We sat and spoke with Kurt. Can't even remember his name. That's how good fan I am. Kurt, for probably like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, we were sitting there just BSing about the industry and the retail side and the different things that we see at these conferences and how it affects our stores, and just having a great, intelligent conversation with someone who's been through a lot in the industry, and that's Smirk and Dagger. At this event, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, they had this huge table, and they were showing a game coming out that I never, before this, ever even heard of. Never even seen, and they're good about this. They're good at just dropping these games. A great 2-player game they dropped last year was that Enthroned, that they just, there you go, beautiful game. It's out on the table. It's a great game. You'll find it, right?
The Golden Meeple nominee for best 2-player game.
Just a great game. And they do Boop. They do a lot of other really, I highly recommend going to smirkanddagger.com, checking them out. Go to your friendly local game store. Support Kurt and the boys, because they do such a great job, Smirk and Dagger. But this game was amazing, right? The chips,
Some would even say it's a hell of a deal of a game.
hell of a deal. So I can tell you what I liked about it: the fact that you're playing poker against the devil and his demons, and you're trying to win back your soul because of a deal that you've done in the past or whatever situation, and you have to cheat because they're all cheating, and so you have to cheat at poker, and you use these special abilities that hurt you if you do too much. So you got to kind of find that right push your luck mechanic while you're pushing your luck mechanic by drawing cards and playing poker while you're trying to win the game with other, 4, 5, 6 other players at the table. I don't remember what it went up to, but man,
Yeah.
and you would know this better than anybody, the quality of those chips.
Yeah, I mean, he only had 55, so we're gonna buy
How many's in yours again? How many's in yours?
120, but it's the exact same chips. Yeah, I know. It's the exact same chips. It's the iron core. I mean, these things are they're heavy. The printing was amazing. The quality of this game was ridiculous. And so even at the price point that they're going at, I'm still sitting there like, how are they going to make money on this thing? But I mean,
What did you say the MSRP was on it? What was the MSRP?
75.
Wow. What a good.
But I mean, it's big, it's heavy. It comes with all the neoprene mats too.
Yeah,
So you
that
have a big mat in the middle, and then each 6 individual mats for the players, plus the chips. And I mean, yeah. So beyond the quality of the game, just genius gameplay and mechanics. I mean, the cheating component, like encouraging that in a game, is so bold because usually people just they kind of stay away from that. Like, oh, I don't like unfair play, and I want it to be balanced. And they're like, nope, cheat, cheat in this game. But if you cheat too much, we're gonna punish you. Oh, genius, absolutely amazing. I want it now. I want it right now.
Yeah.
Well, and for those of you who have ever played on your phone or on Steam, Balatro, I think that is a great kind of benchmark of if you like Balatro, you are going to love this because Balatro was like an indie phenomenon on Steam this past year and on the phone. So if you've ever played Balatro and you're like, gosh, like I really love this game, then Hell of a Deal absolutely has to be on your list. And Dylan, you kind of said something that made me think of something that he told us when we were talking about components of games, and he just said, "This thing is not getting deluxeified. We're just calling this the game."
Yeah, I loved that. He was like, we're not doing a base game. We're not doing expansion. Like, this game's just deluxe. And that's what you get. I love that.
And what was the phrase? He shot a little promo video for us that we'll post to here. But what was his tagline at the end of the video that he said? It was like,
What this game does is it delivers high stakes poker with no money on the table, except your soul.
"You won't lose any value except for your soul."
I loved the fact that you're playing for your soul. You had he was showing me all the different characters and the different abilities of the demons that you face before you get to the boss, the devil.
Yeah.
It had very Cuphead art. I love the art. The art was very funsy, flimsical, like cartoon style. Really enjoyed it. I didn't get to play through it, but they showed me how it would play through. And I was like, yeah, I'm really excited about this one. And for me, and I think for both of you as well, by far the number one. It wasn't even a question when I was doing this list. That was it. That was top. And we talked about it a little bit before, as we were leaving I think you guys, I didn't get there yet. And you guys came over and go, oh, have you seen the Hell of a Deal there? And I was like, no, I was like, dude, check out the chips. It's amazing. You got to, I was like, dude, I'm not even there yet. I'm trying to get through. But you guys were like, you got to stop and check it out. It looks amazing. And I was like, well, anything Smirk and Dagger puts out, as a retailer, I'm already ears perked, ready to roll, right? And then secondly, as a fan of Smirk and Dagger and a fan of board games, I'm always like, you have to pay attention to what they're doing. And so I think those two things added in with the fact that they, to me, stole the show without really stealing the show, right? There wasn't any big signs. Hellbreak had signs everywhere, and when you walk in the door, the whole doors were covered, right? So they didn't have to really push hard. Just had a big table and a great spot, by the way. They had the main corridor, but a great spot that they had, but a big table of like, this is our next project. This is what we're working on, or this is what we got going. And it was like, I'm sold. Take my money.
Now, I'm not trying to put pressure on Kurt here, but Dillon and I specifically really emphasized what big fans we were. Now, Dillon, you were second set of ears for confirmation. Did he not say something to me about maybe getting a copy real soon?
He did indeed. And I also said, if that copy gets sent, I will fly to Kalamazoo and do the gameplay with the team. No brainer.
No brainer.
Yeah, no brainer. I'd love to play that game as soon as
Well, tell him we need to reach out to him and tell he's only like north of Indianapolis. We can just go pick it up.
Yeah, well, no, he's in Connecticut.
Oh, is he in Connecticut?
Yeah, but he did say he's got a set amount of preview copies, and he said, hey, when I get one back, it's going to Champions of Tabletop. And I said, we will get a video up immediately because it's not even out on Kickstarter yet. Kickstarter will be coming soon. I don't know exactly when it's expected, but I don't think it's going to be a long delay to actually get to consumers. I feel like it's coming out. Did he say it was coming out on Gen Con or something?
I thought he said it would be ready shortly after Gen Con. So Gen Con's going to be the big push, but they're going to do a Kickstarter soon. I think they're doing the same release pattern as A Place for All My Books, which is one I forgot to mention that they do, which is a great game if you've not played it, a very fun game. It's one of the few that I carry, even though my competitors carry it. So he said that they'll release a Kickstarter, and then unlike that, they're not going to do a big like deluxeified and non-deluxeified version like they did with the Place for All My Books. They're just going to do one. They said that was a huge hassle. Let's just do one. Let's do it this way, and this is the price, and we're going to push it out. As soon as he gives me the okay, I'm ordering. Like I'm good to put me down for a case at least, if not two, of that game. Like I'm that confident. And I don't do that in my store. I don't buy cases. I buy multiples. So I'm extremely excited. Like I think that's going to be great. But yes, he said it. I think he said it was Kickstarter early in the summer, and then by the end of summer, he hopes to have print and everything done, ready to roll. So he's probably already has the order in and just waiting to push the print button down.
The manufacturer he's using for that game is a really high quality one, and they're very well known for just fast delivery, being consistent. So yeah, I mean, the quality of the prototype spoke for itself. So I think he's probably got all of that dialed. So following up on that Kickstarter will be quick.
Yep. Super excited. Can't wait.
Easy number one for all of us, but I do have to throw this in. There's like a very close one side experience for me was, I'm going to post it on the screen right now. Look at this card. Upcoming for the game from Huddle. Look at that glorious quarterback for the Detroit Lions. Oh my God, look how beautiful he looks in that card. I'm in a game. That was my best experience of GAMA, was finding out I'm gonna be in a game.
You will never be a 5-star in anything else, so enjoy it.
I heard Sora of it. You're my teammate.
Yes, I'll do you this though, Deon. Here you go.
Yes, that's my son. That is my son. And Vic, look at how many stars.
For Minnesota, our first ever team expansion, and you both.
And then it's on our channel as well. Look at that.
So best experience of GAMA right there.
Yeah, it's up there.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. What an awesome experience GAMA was.
Great.
Always is. Great networking. Great to hang out with both of you as well, more importantly. Great to play some games and spend some time together. So
like, subscribe, hit that little belly icon. Put some comments down there. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
If you've seen anything on here that you really are excited about, let us know you're excited about. If you've seen something else from another person that you're like, hey, how did you miss this? I would love to see it because there was a lot going on at the event. So it was very easy to stumble and kick my way through a lot of little card games. Like, right? Like, am I wrong with this? It was like a lot of little, like,
trick taking,
a lot of little card games, a lot of small boxed items, which last year we've seen this trend as well, especially with what's going on in the world. It was very like very little gamey, like a party game. Everything was a small box. which is good, but also, this is one that was up there in price. Very excited to see. Very heavy game. So I'm not heavy game, but a heavy lifting game, right? So I'm excited to see this one. But yes, we're hit the bell, subscribe.
Yeah, we're almost to 1,000
Almost.
subscribers. So
Could be number 1,000.
and we will have a phone giveaway when we get to 1,000. So help us get there,
Free
and
copy
we
of
will
Automated.
help make your day worth it.
Yeah, we can do something like that. I think we can work a game of huddling for 1,000. There you go. So that says an existing subscriber.
There it is, exactly. So help us get there, and we'll help make sure that we cheer your day up with a fun prize. So with that said, we're going to wrap this up. We're looking forward to the journey forward for 2026. Thanks to a great GAMA. GAMA, you did an awesome job. And gentlemen, never forget, champions never
Stop playing.
boy, Dillon, I'm so proud of you.
Like, just like you did it.
Look, that's right. Good night, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.